Just drove to Chiricahua, not sure, Chiricahua National Monument. We just popped in and checked out the Visitors Center and Bonita Springs campground. The plan was to see if we could catch a spot in the campground for the night so that we'd have all day tomorrow to check out the monument, but it was full, so plan B.
So we decided to come south on 42, which was Piney Canyon Road, and that brings you into the Coronado National Forest, and there's tons of campsites through here. It took us about 25 minutes to get to some campsites, but
I saw like 2 people the entire way.
Yeah, so we're basically here by ourselves, and it's really nice. It's chilly, but it's nice. So, how do you pronounce where we are this morning?
Chiricahua. We're not sure. I'm going with Chiricahua.
I'm going with Chiricahua as well, but I'm gonna go ask the ranger so we're not slaughtering the name the whole entire day. So I just went and talked to the ranger. It is Chiricahua, and it actually means turkey, which there is a bunch of them in the National Monument.
Bonita Canyon Drive is an 8-mile road in the park that will give you scenic views as it winds up to Maisha Point, which is a great place to start your hike and have a picnic.
So we are currently at Maisha Point, and I think what we're gonna do today is hike over Echo Canyon Trail, the Upper Rollalite Canyon Trail, Sarah Deming Trail, the Heart of the Rocks Loop, the Big Balance Rock Trail, do Inspiration Point Trail, and the Mushroom Rock Trail. I think that is our plan for today. It should be about 9.5 miles.
You're not afraid of anything. There is no shortage of hoodoos in Chiricahua.
It's a pretty sweet national monument. So we're doing a little bit less than 10 miles today, and we're gonna do a loop instead of an out and back. And weather today isn't gonna break 50. I think the high is 48, but the winds are good, so it's only about 11 to 16 mile per hour winds, so that's nice. Even though it's not super warm, it won't feel too cold.
Chiricahua National Monument is one of those places that I didn't even know existed, but now that we've been there, it's one of our favorite places in Arizona. Tucked into the southeast corner of the state and surrounded by national forest land, you wouldn't even know it was there unless you're a map nerd like me. If you have the time, we highly recommend checking out this national monument. We aren't climbers, but after coming here, we couldn't help but be in awe of these rocks. The scientist in me definitely wanted to learn more. So millions of years ago, volcanic bedrock was lifted and slightly tilted to form the Chiricahua Mountains. That force caused deep vertical cracks, which over time, with the combination of water, freezing and thawing, as well as wind and plants, have all contributed to the unique formations here at the park.
This is the grotto section, and there's a lot of big boulders just laying on top of other rocks.
I'm going up, she said. Look at that.
Chiricahua National Monument is a canyon forest, and the weather and erosion has created a mosaic of different habitats. As you hike the trail and weave in and out of the canyon, you'll start to notice it all. With the south-facing canyon slope having a warmer, drier environment, you'll see Mexican pinyon, alligator juniper, agave, and yucca. On the north-facing side of the canyon, you'll see a cooler and moister climate, giving you Douglas fir, ponderosa pine, and Arizona cypress.
We just got to the junction of Echo Canyon Trail, Upper Rhyolite Trail, and Hailstone Trail. So if we went on Hailstone, it'd be about a 3.5 mile hike, but we are going to do a longer hike, so we are going to continue on Upper Rhyolite Trail. This section just smells good because there's lots of pine. It's really cool how the junipers are growing in between all the rock formations. Weird, because every time I hike, I end up hearing these weird noises.
Altitudes.
It's always behind me. But I did look up altitudes, and it is a real thing. So he was right this one and only time. Okay, so whose poop is this? And then whose poop is that? I mean, that to me looks like horse or donkey. But horses aren't coming through here. So is there some wild burros? I was honestly expecting to see no one on this trail, and we actually have seen 4 different groups of hikers. So that's good to see. Based on when I talked to the ranger, he said a majority of people only see like the first couple miles of the trail. So that's good to see. People are doing the longer loops and taking advantage of it and getting out and about. But even though the high is only 48 today, it still feels really nice because no wind. That's nice. And it's just been a really pretty hike so far. It's taken us through a couple different ecosystems so far. And I'm digging it. So, sir, what are your thoughts on this trail so far?
Every 10 minutes, the scenery changes, which is pretty neat. So it's a very dynamic hike. 1 minute you're with the hoodoos, next minute you're walking through rock walls, next minute you're in the pines, and can't beat it.
So this lower Rhyolite Trail would take you down to the visitor center. And we are going to continue on and take the Sarah Deming Trail to get to the Heart of Rock Sloop, Balanced Rock Trail, and eventually back to Maasai Point where we parked.
Every hike we go on that has stairs, I can't help but imagine how many hours of labor went into them. So thank you, trail builders.
And we're back in the hoodoos.
We are now entering Heart of the Rocks loop. It's a 1.1 mile loop. And I guess this is where a majority of all the hoodoos are. So, can't pass this up. Gotta go check it out. But you can feel the temperature change as we're going down in elevation.
Heart of Rocks Loop puts you in, through, and around the rock formations. A lot of times we weren't even talking to each other. We were just staring at the rock, thinking, how is that even possible? It was one of the main highlights of the trail, making you question some of the pinnacles that are still standing and how long they'll be there for others to enjoy.
There's Disneyland, and then there's Mother Nature's Disneyland.
Seriously. They call this one Duck on a Rock.
So if you only have a couple hours to be here, definitely go the opposite way that we went and come to the Heart of Rock Loop, because that's where you're gonna see a majority of like the beauty of this park. I'm gonna go and assume that that is balanced rock. Definitely looks like there was a fire at some point through this section of the trail. All the trees look dead and burnt.
Baby,
Yeah.
I just want you to know my body is telling me that I need pizza.
Well, we've been in the middle of the woods for like the last 5 days.
It's
So
on my agenda.
I don't have an oven in the van.
There are some snow-capped mountains back there. Coronado National Forest.
So we are currently at the junction of Inspiration Point, and we're trying to figure out if we want to do it or not. It is 3 o'clock. Sun doesn't go down until 5:30, and it's an extra mile to do Inspiration Point. So what do you think?
Ranger said it's something you don't want to miss. We've got enough daylight. We'll probably be back by 5, so knowing my wife, we're about to go that way.
Yeah, so we're gonna go that way and do it. What's in the box? Do I really want to open this? Oh, there's tampons, pens.
Mark.
So I would say Inspiration Point, that extra mile was worth it. Great views. And we just turned onto our junction. So now we are on the Mushroom Rock Trail on the way back to our van, Uhuru, and Maisha cakes, of course. I'm sure she took a nice long nap while we were out hiking today.
Sun's slowly going down. Now we're in the canyon right next to Inspiration Point. And as you can see, we don't have our sunlight anymore, but there is sunlight ahead. So I'd imagine once the sun officially sets, it's gonna get pretty chilly.
How does this happen? Because nothing around us is charred except for this tree, and it is massive. And like, it feels like a piece of charcoal. Look at this. It's just crumbling.
So how long has this thing been sitting here charred when everything else has grown up around it?
We are back on the Maasai Trail and heading back up to the van. Overall, really happy with this trail. Really happy with this national monument. It was gorgeous. Really think it could be a national park. It'll be a little piece of paradise in southeast Arizona that not too many people know about.
How far did we go, Mom?
About 10 miles.
10 miles, give or take. The app we were using to track it
Went a little crazy.
went a little haywire down at the bottom of the canyon.
Hi!
Hey, Maisha.
Hi,
Big
Bubba.
stretch. Hi.
You have a fun day.
Okay, sir, so what's it gonna be? Are we camping in the Coronado National Forest tonight, or are we heading to Bisbee?
It's all going to be determined by what kind of food they got in Bisbee.
We're gonna go check out Bisbee. They have a brewing company and then another restaurant that sounds good. So once we get there, we'll make that decision. But I just want to reiterate again how awesome the day was today and how fortunate and lucky we are that we came down to this southeast quarter of Arizona, because we almost didn't come down here, and I'm so glad we did, because Chiricahua, I've been saying it wrong all day, National Monument was pretty awesome, and I'm glad we did the long hiking loop and really got to see